welcome back to another video. In this one, we're going to be taking a look at a bomb cyclone for the Northeast. We're going to be doing a quick update on every detail that I can show you guys in about 20 minutes. So let's start here first with my map I have. Yeah, strongest winds is in this red, probably more for the New England and Maine area, up to 60 miles an hour or higher, especially in some of those heavier rain bands. Another thing is in the green, we are going to be talking about a windswept, heavy rain and some thunderstorms that could actually have some lightning and thunder and definitely winds up to 50 plus miles an hour. Then in the heavy wet snow, more like a 1 to 3. Generally behind the system, it will be generally 1 to 3 inches, locally higher for the mountains regions. And then for the Great Lakes, heavy lake effect snow after the system could be causing 1 to 3 feet of snow. Then you could tell with the track of this system that's more of an inland track. We're going to be taking a lot more look on that. So this is just a map here of the setup we are talking about. Once again, a low in the northern parts here and a low in the southern parts. Once again, cooler air behind it and mild and warmer air into the northeast mid-Atlantic areas like that. Another thing is we got some thunderstorms down here. This could be a little bit more severe. Rain and snow up for the main area, even a bit of snow very north of this. But everyone pretty much in that general windswept rain. If we go to the next thing, this is a rainfall map here. If you guys are all along the East Coast or in this lining here, generally 2 to 4 inches of rainfall here. I will say there is potentially locally up to storm max 8 inches in some of those heavier rain bands. I can definitely see that. Even a 3 to 6 in some parts where those heavier rain bands set up. But generally 1 to 2 inches all the way even out into Harrisburg. We go to our next map. This is the severe storms. This is for some severe weather. Isolated tornadoes, flooding downpours, localized winds, damaging wind gusts up to 50 to 60, storm max up to 85. That's for any severe thunderstorm warning or any line that does develop. That's for New York, Boston, Virginia Beach, Rocky Mountain, and Wilmington, Philadelphia, and some parts of like Allentown, Easton, Berks, Southern PA, Eastern PA, all of Connecticut, all under that some risk of severe thunderstorms. We go into the next map. This is called an active atmospheric river. Basically just a training over rain bands and thunderstorms. Definitely up in here. I think once again this area, this for that greatest 2 to 4 inches. You know, Dover, Delaware, Maryland, Philadelphia, New York City, Eastern Pennsylvania, Eastern New York, all of Connecticut, all of Massachusetts, all of Vermont, Maine, and New Hampshire, heaviest of the rainfall. Most likely getting that definitely 2 inches and higher, and probably the most impacts too. We go over here. There it is by the storm heads east. We're going to be talking about maybe going up more up the East Coast. And then you could tell with the damaging winds. I think this is a little bit far-fetched out here. It has 50 to 70 miles an hour all the way out here into eastern Pennsylvania, into New York City, Boston, and that. I think this is a bit overdone. I will probably push that closer to the coast. But generally 30 to 50 miles an hour, very likely. And why they have that is probably because of the line of the thunderstorms. Storm max 85. I could definitely see that. I think the strongest winds will be in this box right here. And probably out in these areas here too. Probably where we're going to see the strongest winds. Any more to this? Yes, there is. We have power outage risk pretty much eastern Pennsylvania because of the heavy rainfall and the winds. in this Virginia, Wilmington, New York City, Dover, Philadelphia, Eastern Pennsylvania, all of Connecticut, and all of Massachusetts, and parts of Maine, all of Maine, and parts of Vermont and New Hampshire, all in that localized. And then I would not even be surprised of a regional. You can tell right here. I wouldn't even be surprised if it goes a little bit more inland, out into a little bit more of Connecticut and New York and the New Jersey area. I think that's where it could be even a widespread across the Cape Cod area with the latest I am looking at. And then that's it for the AccuWeather. Okay. So now we take a look at the NAM model. We got two models we can take a look at, and then look at some other models for some outside stuff if we want to. And first off, this is right now some showers and just some plain old moderate to heavy rain in some of these bands. This will progress as the night hours go on into more and more heavier rains and downpours, and those winds will be picking up too. Once again, we got a freezing rain and sleet mess across Maine. There's already winter weather advisories. That's because of the colder temperatures, but even those areas will be changing over to some of that plain old rain. We continue to take a look. You see some of those heavier rain showers and thunderstorms even to continue to move into Connecticut tomorrow morning. Early in the morning, we go into about 5 in the morning. We got some heavier downpours across New Jersey, Eastern Pennsylvania, just even off the coast. Some spots for Massachusetts, Vermont, New Hampshire. And that freezing rain just continuing to get overspread by that heavier rain. There's the low cutting in from the Appalachians. And we continue to see the rain bands continue and the winds to continue. You can tell, a little batch of heavier rain into Long Island, Connecticut, Rhode Island. But you can tell some of those heavier rain bands will continue. And probably the heaviest rains towards the afternoon as we got now a 998, been trending stronger. And you can tell even by 1, 2, we are probably looking at the head of this storm. Probably the strongest winds in 996. This goes just over eastern Pennsylvania. You see that nasty squall line, very heavy rain, and then that back end snow trying to mix. It could mix in eastern Pennsylvania for about an hour or so, or just some leftover showers. But then this will continue to move out and go north. And then we got the lake effect snow. You could tell over here with these lake effect snow bands. Some more for the Erie, Pennsylvania areas, Buffalo, even some snow showers and snow squalls in central and western Pennsylvania. Could be dropping a quick coating to an inch. And this continues to persist into the 12th. These snow bands into Watertown, Erie, Pennsylvania. And we continue to see that even into the nighttime, probably weakening just a bit in Erie, but really still going across Watertown. Those are really hard to predict. But if we went to the last run, because at this point this is after the storm and the lake effect is there, you could tell it even continues. And then it starts finally dying down and moving north by the 13th and the 14th. But total snow for the lake effect snow, you could be looking at up to 2 feet here. In some cases, up to 3 feet. A general 1 to 3 inches for the system we are currently talking about here on the NAM. You can tell about 1 to 3 in central Pennsylvania, northern Pennsylvania, New York. This is for that system in the mountain regions, and then 3 to 5 in some of those mountain regions. So that's why I kind of put that 1 to 3 locally higher amounts. If anything, max 8 inches, okay, in the mountain tops. We look at a thing called the dynamic. This is the pretty much the troughing and the way the axis is, the trough axis is in the storm, and when it's negative tilted, um, it's dynamic flow, and dynamic flow helps to deepen the low pressure. So let me help you explain this here. So right now we'll say this is probably like this. We got screaming winds coming out of the south like this. This is that bringing that warmer air of what's going on. We got, there's our trough deepening down right in here and then doing that. So right now it's not tilted. It's kind of just straight down. If this was a cold front this in the summertime, this would probably just be a cold front with a cooling down right there in some more big time severe weather. But we're not in severe weather season anymore. You start seeing as we get later, we see the tilting begin. There is the axis starting to tilt right here, starting to bow out. So now we're starting to see some of that dynamic development of the system, but it's not enough yet. All right, when does it really start get going? Probably at this point. At this point, when we see very strong winds coming out here, and we see that negative tilt axis. This is now the beginning stages of the deepening. Does this happen a little bit sooner, where we see a quicker pressure drop and bring even heavier rain and stronger winds? At this point, when it's in the northeast and it's starting to impact, this is a complete negative tilt. This is when you can really expect that deepening, rapid intensification into a bomb cyclone, and you see very strong winds. So a lot of these winds are going to be mixing to the surface here too, and then you can see that slingshot, and that's going to be a lot. All right, we look at the winds on the model here. Let's take a look at the surface wind gust here, and let's go into the northeast. And right now, pretty much we're looking at some 20 miles an hour winds. This will continue to pick up as the system's coming, and you kind of start seeing, you start seeing those 30s. Those are 30 knots, so up to 40, and then you start seeing some of those 40s. And what you really start seeing as we get later, that's been trending too, is we're getting back that stronger wind over here. Up to 50 miles an hour at this point right here. This is 50. And then we're talking about probably 55, 60 miles an hour starting right here on the latest now. That 30 to 40 all the way out to here. That's into eastern Pennsylvania. And you really see that to really pick up, and especially as that line develops. If that line develops a little bit earlier, we can continue to see this push. Look how tight this wind gradient is. Up to 60 miles an hour. Just in the crisp of the Pennsylvania and New Jersey border, and all the way up to New England. Along the Long Island in New York, you're looking at 52 knots. That's up to 60 to even 65 mile an hour winds across the coastal regions. Very, very strong winds. And these probably will mix with that heavier rain bands. And you can actually see it pick up even for, you got winds up to 60 now miles an hour in New York City in that line. That's knots. So you're looking at 70 mile an hour winds, potentially hurricane force gust winds across the shore regions. And then still, even we continue, we see these winds even get higher just off the coast up to 70 knots. That's almost 80 miles an hour even for Maine and Cape Cod. Really strong winds. Very impressive winds here. You're looking along the Cape Cod regions, easily 70 to 80 mile an hour winds. All right. Very impressive winds. Even behind that, a lot of that west wind up to 30 miles an hour to about 40 miles an hour. right? Another thing is the total accumulations for the rainfall. We take a general look here into the latest run. Yeah. Let's use this actually. Total snow. No, we already looked at that. Total precip accumulations for the latest ZRZ. This is what to come. Generally, in some of these bands, up to another 2 to 4 inches. Even eastern Pennsylvania, you're looking at maybe 2.5 to 3 inches. Widespread 1 to 2 inches. From 18Z, probably a little bit less because some of that rain already is falling. Actually, no, it's a little bit more heavier. So that's pretty interesting. Another model we can look at is the NAM. We can just look at the rainfall. There it is. Widespread 2.5 inches, up to 3 to 4. So that's why we got those 2 to 4s. Like I said, could be a little bit more. Sometimes the models do not pick it up right away. And this model likes to pick out even heavier rain, up to even 5 inches in some of those heavier rain bands. So, really heavy rain. And for the snow, I don't see anything with the snow as of right now. That back end twist. Yeah, maybe some mountain snow regions across eastern Pennsylvania. The HER model 0Z, mountain regions behind maybe a quick coating for an hour. But a lot of it's going to be that rain, that windswept rain, and then that lake effect snow. And a lot, there could be definitely some snow squalls that's behind it. Total snow, 1 to 3, 3 to 5 in the mountain regions. Not expecting too much of a big snow event. It's more of that heavy rain event. On the HER model, likes a lot of rain, in some spots up to 6 to even 7 inches of rain. Even for eastern Pennsylvania, up to 3 to 4 inches. So, very heavy rain, very strong winds. The GFS, generally the same thing. The Euro 18Z, generally the same thing. Up to about 3 to 4 inches. Some spots seeing a little bit more. The Gen model, a lot of rain up to about 2 to 3 inches. The National Weather Service does have winter weather advisories, flood watches, and wind warnings across the New England area. I think they should extend those wind advisories a little bit more to the west, across western Massachusetts, western New York, into Pennsylvania and New Jersey. But for these winds, probably up to 60 to 70 mile an hour winds across Cape Cod, Boston, Long Island, even New York can see gusts up to 50 to 55 miles an hour. And that's pretty much it to wrap it up. I pretty much have covered everything. New 18Z here. Once again, a little bit more of that heavier rain. And then that back end snow. And then that should close it off. And then we are watching maybe for another rain/snow event for the Northeast. And then whatever else to come. And let me just quickly look at that. See how different it is. Yeah. But that's going to wrap it up in this one. Hope you guys like and subscribe. Please share. And please stay safe. And do not drive in flooded roads.